For 1,000 years, the galaxy believed one simple thing. Humans were not real. They were a story told in dark rooms, a warning from old wars, a myth used to scare young civilizations into obedience. In the Grand Council chamber, powerful leaders sat beneath cold white lights. One ambassador stood and laughed. "Humans," he said, "if they ever existed, they are dust now." Many agreed. The galaxy was strong, advanced, united. No lost species could threaten them. Then the Outer Rim station sent a signal. At first, it looked like an error. Deep space interference. Broken sensors. But the message repeated again and again. Unknown fleet detected. Size extreme. The officer on duty felt his hands shake. The objects were not random debris. They were ships, thousands of them, all moving in perfect formation. No communication signals. No known engine signature. Just silent movement through dark space. The council demanded clearer images. When the first visual arrived, the room became quiet. The ships were massive. Black hulls, sharp edges, built for war. And on every single ship, there was a symbol, a blue planet, wrapped in a broken chain. An old historian slowly stood up. His voice was barely steady. "I have seen that mark before," he whispered. "It belongs to humanity." Silence filled the chamber, because myths do not build fleets, and legends do not move like armies. The fleet did not slow down. It did not change direction. It was not passing by. It was entering the galaxy. And for the first time in 1,000 years, the myth was coming home. The fleet did not send threats. It did not demand surrender. It did not even announce war. It simply moved forward. System after system began to track it. Long-range scanners followed every ship. Scientists tried to study its engines. Military commanders searched for weak points. But something was wrong. The fleet gave off almost no energy signal. No heat trails. No normal warp distortion. It was as if the ships were bending space without effort. The outer defense stations prepared their weapons anyway. Cannons powered up. Shield grids activated. Fighter wings launched into formation. Still, the human fleet did nothing. It crossed into the first border system without slowing down. A warning message was sent from the system governor. "Unknown fleet, identify yourselves immediately." For several long seconds, there was no reply. Then one signal appeared on every communication screen. Clear, calm, controlled. "We are humanity." Only 3 words. No anger, no fear, just certainty. Panic spread faster than light. Emergency meetings were called across the galaxy. Old archives were reopened. Forgotten war records were studied again. The deeper they searched, the worse it became. Humanity had once fought a war so violent that entire star clusters were erased from maps. But the records ended suddenly. No defeat, no surrender, just disappearance. Now, the myth was no longer a story. It was a fleet of thousands. And it was still moving toward the galactic core. One young officer whispered what everyone was thinking. "They are not exploring." He looked at the growing tactical display. "They are advancing." And the worst part was this. The humans were not rushing. They were patient, as if they already knew the galaxy could not stop them. Not everyone was afraid. In the northern spiral arm, the Varkesh Empire watched the reports with doubt. Their fleets were large. Their weapons were advanced. They had ruled their region for centuries without challenge. Their High Admiral stared at the tactical map and spoke with calm confidence. If they were powerful, he said, they would not hide in silence. He believed fear was spreading faster than facts. So he made a decision. The Varkesh Empire would test a myth. 3 battle groups jumped into position ahead of the human fleet. Over 800 warships formed a blockade across a narrow star corridor. Weapons locked, shields raised. The human fleet slowed for the first time. Across the galaxy, millions watched the live feed. The Varkesh Admiral sent a message. "Unknown fleet. Turn back or be destroyed." There was no reply. Seconds passed. Then one human ship moved forward. Only one. It was smaller than the others, but its surface was covered in strange geometric patterns that glowed softly blue. The Varkesh Admiral smiled. "Fire," Hundreds of energy beams shot through space. Missiles followed like burning stars. The human ship did not dodge. It did not raise visible shields. The weapon struck and vanished, not absorbed, not deflected, simply gone. Silence filled every command bridge watching the battle. Then the human ship pulsed once with blue light. Across the blockade, Varkesh ships began shutting down. Engines died. Weapons powered off. Navigation systems froze. Within 30 seconds, 800 warships were drifting helplessly in space. No explosions, no deaths, just complete control. A final message appeared on Varkesh screens. We warned you. The single ship returned to formation. The fleet continued forward. And now, the galaxy no longer called a myth. After the fall of the Varkesh blockade, fear spread across every system. But fear was not the worst part. The worst part was the question. Why had the old records about humanity been incomplete? The Galactic Council ordered all sealed archives opened. Ancient data crystals were removed from vaults that had not been touched in centuries. What they found was not a legend. It was a confession. 1,000 years ago, humanity had fought against a coalition of empires, not because they wanted control, but because those empires had tried to erase them first. The war had been brutal. Stars were weaponized. Planets were broken. But humanity did not lose. They adapted. They learned. They built weapons no one else understood. And when victory was certain, they did something unexpected. They stopped. They did not conquer. They did not enslave. They left. The final record showed a message sent by the last human commander. We will withdraw, not because we are weak, but because you are not ready. After that, the Council had done something shameful. They rewrote history. They removed human victories from official records. They turned humanity into a myth, a story, something small, something laughable. Now the price of that lie was approaching the galactic core. The human fleet entered another system, and this time they transmitted a longer message. We remember only 2 words, but every leader understood the meaning. This was not revenge. It was accountability. The galaxy had erased humanity from history. Now humanity was correcting the record, and they were doing it without destroying a single world, which made them even more terrifying. Because power is frightening, but control power, that changes everything. The human fleet did not move toward the richest empire. It did not target the strongest military. Instead, it changed course toward a system known across the galaxy for one thing: slavery. The Karth Dominion had ruled that region with fear for centuries. Entire species were captured, sold, and forced to work in deep mining worlds. Many empires protested. None acted. The humans did not send warnings. They arrived within minutes. Thousands of human ships surrounded the system. The Dominion fleet scrambled to respond. Defense cannons powered up. Distress signals flooded nearby sectors. The Karth leader transmitted a threat. You enter sovereign space. Leave or face total war. There was no reply. Then something strange happened. Every slave transport ship in orbit suddenly unlocked. Prison doors opened. Control collars powered down. Across the system, confused captives realized they were free. At the same time, Dominion warships began losing control. Weapons shut off. Shields dropped. Engines stalled. No explosions. No burning planets. Just the silence. Human boarding craft moved with precision. They did not kill without reason. They disabled command centers. Arrested military leaders. Seized weapon grids. In less than 1 hour, the Dominion had fallen. A final broadcast was sent to the entire galaxy. Oppression will not be tolerated. No long speech. No demand for tribute. Just a statement of principle. The freed species watched human ships leave their skies. They did not cheer. They did not celebrate loudly. They stared in awe because the myth had not returned as destroyers. They had returned as judges. And for the first time, the galaxy understood something terrifying. Humanity did not need to burn worlds to win. They only needed to decide. After the fall of the Karth Dominion, no empire dared to test the humans again. The fleet continued toward the galactic core. Not fast, not slow, just steady. Every major power gathered near the central systems. Massive defense platforms were activated. Ancient superweapons were brought online for the first time in centuries, but no one fired. They had all seen what happened to those who tried. The human fleet finally stopped at the edge of the core sector. Thousands of ships formed a perfect sphere around the brightest star in the galaxy. Then a transmission was sent, not just to leaders, to everyone, every planet, every station, every ship. The image showed a human commander standing calmly on a bridge filled with soft blue light. He did not look angry. He did not look proud. He looked certain. For 1,000 years, he said, "You called us a myth." The galaxy listened in silence. You erased our history. You rewrote our victories. You told your children we were only stories. He paused. We left because we believed you would grow wiser. The human fleet's formation tightened. You did not. Defense fleets prepared for impact. Instead, something unexpected happened. Data archives across the galaxy began unlocking. Hidden war records reappeared. Truths long buried were restored. Human history returned to every system database. We are not here to conquer, the commander continued. We are here to correct. The transmission ended. The fleet remained in position, powerful but still. No world burned. No stars exploded. But something far greater happened. The balance of power shifted forever. The myth was gone. Humanity was real. And this time, the galaxy would never forget.